Yes, I do have a life, and no, I didn't go onto the internet to listen to Mel Gibson having his little meltdown. If you really listen closely to that tape, even the bits and pieces played on the news, if you listen with your intuitive channels open, you'll see that Mel is a raving lunatic. This is not just a hurt, rejected lover we're talking about here. He's mean, he's spiteful, he's scornful, resentful, bitter, and most of all, violent. And all the other stuff is just an adjunct to his rage. This is what I talked about in my stalker video about not psychoanalyzing mad men, is that it doesn't matter why he feels the way he does. What matters is it's inappropriate for him to act in the way he's acting. I also talked about a normal range of behavior, and maybe it sounded pretentious to some ears, but I'm not kidding. There is a normal range of behavior, and Mel is way outside that normal range. See, the normal guy or girl in a relationship, even one that has produced children, even in the midst of their pain, will know there's someone else out there. For crying out loud, I could walk to the nearest intersection right now and be flirted with twice before I hit the corner. There's always someone else, and clearly there's a reason for a breakup. I mean, women don't just walk out on a good guy lightly. He thinks it's because of money, but it's obvious that it's because of his seething rage, which is no doubt why she left his ass. And he's raging at this woman who doesn't give a damn about him. She's actually setting him up, as a matter of fact. It's gone far beyond the point of caring, but Mel is incapable of grasping that through his rage. There is evidence that it's because of his irrational rage and violent abusiveness. But he's too dumb to get it, that you can't hurt someone who fundamentally doesn't care about you. But he tries to get a response out of her anyway. And he's trying to get her angry. She just sounds tired and sad, but whenever it sounds to him that she's angry, he grabs hold of it like a drowning man, 'cause it means she must still care, right? All that stuff about being raped by a pack of black men, while it has racist undertones, is mostly in the service of Mel's sense of abandonment and rejection. What he means to say is he wants her to be hurt, wounded, broken, demeaned, and maybe she'll come crawling back, and he'll have the satisfaction of rejecting the rejecter. He's a raving lunatic and is out of control. In Mel's version of reality, being raped by black men is more demeaning than being raped by white men, an addendum to his powerlessness. Mel is white. Is he giving extra power and fearsomeness to black men that he himself doesn't possess? After all, he tries but fails to get a rise out of this woman. It's such a drag psychoanalyzing potentially dangerous people. Because really, the idea is to prevent them from causing harm to others. Just listen to the seething resentment and scorn in his voice. It goes beyond hurt. It goes into hate. He wants to tear her apart. He wants to disembowel her, demean her, destroy her. This is a very sick man we're dealing with here. As for Whoopi, she could have just let it all go. Nobody judged her for having Mel in her house with her kids. I don't know if having him in her house with her kids is a euphemism for something else of a personal nature, but nobody judged her for that. I mean, people make poor judgments all the time, so nobody judged her. I'm sure there's lots of people in Hollywood who had Mel over for dinner, literally and figuratively. They're not all out blaming themselves. Whoopi could have let it go, but she had to say something and ended up saying it very badly indeed. That she had him in her house, and because of this, we should all take her word that he's not, in fact, a racist. But racism is the least of it, in my opinion. He's violent, he's dangerous, and abusive. Whoopi's defense is absurd. It's like those crazy people who defend their crazy friends who bought the gun and is planning on killing someone. It's not the time for talking. It's time to call the damn cops. Whoopi could have kept her mouth shut. I mean, come on, Whoopi. Was Dahmer a cannibal when he was at the supermarket picking out a watermelon? Was John Wayne Gacy a murderer when he was pumping gas? Dangerous or criminal people spend 99% of their time doing ordinary things, like having Thanksgiving dinner with the family and barbecuing and going for a swim. It's absurd to say he wasn't racist because he was at your house with your kids. Makes me kind of wonder whether you yourself can be trusted. If you want to take on Mel Gibson's lunacy, then fine. As I said, racism is the least of his problems at this point. His racism is only in service of his generalized rage and feelings of abandonment and victimhood. You could have kept your mouth shut on that score, Whoopi, and not make it look like you're always defending louts. Whoopi defended that director, I can't remember his name. He was convicted for rape of a minor, the one in Switzerland, and now she's defending Mel Gibson. Is it naive loyalty or self-serving delusion? Mel's rage won't prevent abandonment. As a matter of fact, it will guarantee abandonment. Anyway, he's a freaking lunatic. Listen to the scorn in his voice. It's the characteristic of a violent, angry, bitter, abusive man. And he couldn't control himself enough not to reveal that to the whole world.